Hello? Hello?
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Thursday. I'm Dylan Russell, and we're hanging out in the base. Today's plan is to move the beacon and do a little bit more stripping and prepping because we're making progress. We're getting flatter around here, so we can actually start doing some major things on the weekend. But just today is a bit of a chill and chop so that I can prep for Saturday. And I've got a couple of just a minor change or two to mention, but nothing too exciting. So we'll just jump right in. Good morning to Bob. I think you were here first, so good on you. And welcome in, Fantastic Sherlock Fox. Hopefully your day's been good so far. Bob says, not bad. Bit of a palaver at work due to new email encryption tool, but all sorted now. Ad breaks stink. Sorry about that. Morning, Bob. I hope your email encryption tool is all has its headaches sorted out fairly soon. Those can be a real pain in the backside. Palaver would be one of those words that if it showed up in the Hangman, I would be asking you what on earth you're talking about. But first things first, we need to take down the beacon and get it moved out yonder. You know what? Let's do this the old-fashioned way. Where is... Nope. Looking for one of my my shears. Just makes the carpet lifting a little faster. Could also just pour water on it, but I don't want to pick up all the carpet on the ground, so that would be a big mess. Where is my favorite shears? They're not in the toolbox. Uh-oh. That's not good. I had a set that were actually all enchanted, and I don't know what I did with them. That's bad news, bears. Probably these ones? Mending and breaking. Yeah, I guess it's gotta be those. Okay. So I was hoping to have something nice and big and fancy planned for today, but I think the gates and such for the road both directions out of town here would probably be the best, and I'm going to save that for Saturday. We have a stream weekend for the Diecraft 73 stream servers on the weekend, and I've got the gates going for that one, and that also allows us to be in the right zone for people to be able to start redeeming houses. So that's one of the things we're going to do on Saturday. We're also going to start telling stories. I'm going to be using some Rory's Story Cube redeems so that people can get pieces added on to a grand story. So we'll summarize where we left off and move on to the next cube as it happens. I'm going to see if I can get camera set up to be able to show everybody the dice as it goes. And that's sort of the new thing coming for Saturday. There's not a whole ton on the docket on purpose, just because sometimes you plan something too big and then can't complete in 2 hours. So I'd rather have backup plans if we ended up with time, rather than chewing things in advance and then ending up with nothing. Alright, so let's take the beacon down. I like to do it from the bottom up intentionally because we're going to end up with golems. Fantastic. Move cat. Oops. I like to take the beacon down from the bottom, simply because it makes it easier to keep the effect as long as possible. And I'm putting down the carpets as we go, just to try and avoid having social golems from the villagers bothering us. I know I can get rid of them, but it's just one more thing to do that we don't necessarily need to trigger in the first place. Looking forward to the week being over. I'm having an okay week, but I was hoping to be able to make use of the jet lag that we would have picked up from our vacation as we came back from Ireland to be able to reset. But somehow over the last couple of evenings, my headspace was not the greatest when I actually went to bed, which means that I stayed up a little later than necessary, and so I managed to burn that magical 2 hours that I'd started with at the beginning of the week. So I've got to figure out how to get it back, and it's just a matter of motivation in doing it. Hello, Poodle Pirate. Well, that's fine. Thank you very much for dropping by as much as you can. I appreciate it. You spoil me every time you do. Ooh, excellent way to drop in, though. I like that. By the way, I don't recall, I'll have to take another look, but I don't recall if you had sent me the wording you would like for your personal command. The other thing is I want to ask, do you want it to automatically trigger when you first arrive in chat, or trigger it manually? We can do both. I just haven't played with a walk-on type of trigger before, but it's something that I can definitely look into and see if we can get that to do an if-then sort of thing based on first words. So based on the first thing said in chat, if the user happens to be Poodle Pirate, automatically play this thing. So I mean, that's an option I can do. Manually? Okay, cool. Cool. That's easier. It gives you more control on whether or not you want to trigger. I'm getting a little obsessed with trying to make sure that I don't have golems hanging out. And the fact that I only have 3 carpet left makes me wonder, what did I do? There should have been more. Oh, that's because I stacked over here. Okay, never mind. Problem solved. Yep, that's fair. Totally fair. It's totally fair. There's times when I come in to my own stream and I'm not ready to pay attention yet, so I hear ya. Dude, I might have to hit you in the head if you keep showing up. And that would not be good for any of us. There goes the beacon. Sometimes I wish I had 2 beacons, but I'm not really sure what I would do with 2 most of the time. I'm just spoiled to have them at all. And I don't even remember where this one came from. I have a suspicion that it was a short-term deal I found in shopping. I'm not totally sure. It could also have been, once again, a very nice donation from one of our server mates who doesn't like how pokey some of the stuff I do is. Or is kindly allowing us the opportunity to be faster, let's put it that way. A funny part to me, actually, was I was realizing I have let's just do this for now. What happened to that last carpet? I do not know. I like being pokey. Yeah, it helps with the headspace, but if it's a hokey pokey, then we really do need to get turned around. Meant both literally and jokingly. So, and I'm gonna need a bunch more carpet, just because I don't need any critters on top of the beacon when we put it out in the field. Well, at least you're not telling me I'm funny looking. That works too. Alright. So, let's see, we've got the beacon, got the carpet, and one empty box, but I've got more in our chest. Okay, we should be good. Good day to you, Scrub Lord. One of these days I'm going to expect that you'll say something like, or the Scrub Lord will say something like, hang on, just got to spray something first, and then disappear for a few minutes. Just, I don't know why, but I keep half expecting that to happen. Actually, one of today's plans, if we can, is I'll bring up the sketch map, because I keep saying I'm holding off for paths, and maybe I'll bring up the sketch map and start laying out a few more of these red dot paths, so that we can actually make sure that we've got that part sorted out for the weekend. Kind of hard to build houses when you don't know where the streets are going to be. I mean, in real life, things go the other way around. As in, you build the streets after the houses sort of organically start to happen. It's not a managed city, or town. Okay, where are we here? Guess I didn't need the carpet because I didn't light up out here anyways. Most effective place. Okay, I'm going to put the beacon down and I'm going to keep moving it, which is kind of a waste of some time, but I think it'll be faster in the long run. Provided that we don't run into a cave. If we hit a cave, we got a problem. Okay. Let's see. Today's a right bit warm. Fox says his day isn't too bad, honestly. He was able to get up earlier and feel a bit more on top of things, so it's a near-run thing. He still needs to work toward even earlier. That's the nature of the back-to-school period. Yeah, exactly. The kids want a few last hurrahs by being able to lay in bed late and do what they want. Excuse me, but the side effect of that is that everybody needs to be a little more hands-on to actually make sure they keep on keeping on. My daughter's default, thankfully this morning, she wasn't doing it, but my daughter's default of late usually has been... that's not bad, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm just gonna do the 9, and then I can think today. 9. Yeah, it's relatively centered. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wait a minute. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I did it again. 10. There we go. There's 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So, but it does mean that it needs to be a little more hands-on, just to keep them doing stuff rather than sinking into their usuals. So her usual is sinking into watching YouTube videos or just sitting on her bed, rocking out, thankfully, to Spotify. It's interesting, she's decided that YouTube goes on her iPad, but Spotify music goes on her phone. I'm okay with that, partly because it guarantees that if she's taking her phone with her to school, for example, then she's unlikely to be watching a whole bunch of YouTube on her breaks. But the other thing that makes it nice to know about that is that if I just glance into her room and she doesn't notice, then I can have a good idea, okay, she's just listening to tunes, that's fine. Because we really just don't want her to be on YouTube all day. Although I'll admit that she's at least watching craft videos, which that sounds odd, but by watching craft videos, it's been giving her some good ideas of things she can do and things she's been spending time on for herself, which, while my own supplies of crafts and crafting tools are getting a little bit adulterated as a result, it's not horribly bad. It could be far, far worse. And we need double haste. Oh, haha. I need to pay it down with something, so let's get out. What's in the... yeah, okay. So what's in the precious box? And the only reason the iron's here is for spending on the beacon, because it's not useful for anything else. Yeah, that's a good junk box, so we'll use that. It's going to be junk bits and things we find along the way. Inventory. This one goes away. What was there? Oh, right. That was my shears. Okay, we're good. Iron for spending on that. I don't need the glass. Let's put the glass in the junk box. Alright, that's that. Excellent. So we're just about ready to dig. Or peel, or something. Okay, so we want double haste. Then we get to placing. We can probably try speed, but we'll see. I'm not very good at controlling it. But we'll get where we can. 3, 2, 1. Wow. And there we are. Okay. Oops, make sure it's haste 2. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. Fox says, I suspect you're right, Poodle Pirate. Oh yeah, okay, so you finished earlier than us in the spring. Yeah, probably. Because you're actually able to say it's spring, whereas we don't finish till the tail end of June up here. And that means that it's quite literally feels like the heat of summer. So there's kids doing exams and finals for their year. When they really should be outside. And I also feel bad for people where it's, you know, potentially sweltering hot in late August and they're stuck in classrooms. So I mean, it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other. In your case, it's probably a little more flexible in terms of where your location is for teaching. But for some, yeah, literally it's just a box school and they may or may not have very effective air conditioning. One of the problems we're running into in Canada in the last couple of years, and actually it's hit the news more in the last couple of years, but it's been a big deal before that, is that because we get cold in Canada, many municipalities have put in, and provinces and stuff, have put in legislation about home building and what do you call it, support programs and such, so that we are dealing with it being too cold. There's actually laws in about not being able to get your house too cold. You have to be able to have functional heating and so on. And unfortunately, we don't have any laws about cooling. And in the last few years, there's actually been issues with people, like we've actually had far more deaths related to heat injuries and heat illnesses that are coming up. And sometimes it's even just heat issues exacerbating existing health problems. That's not something that Canada's really had a problem with in the past. So there's far... Oops. Well, I wish that was fake. I got lucky, but that was not fake. I mean, hey, I didn't know we had a cave here, so that's good to know because the creeper let me know that, but that was not what I was looking for. Alrighty. I have one of those now I know moments. Yeah. Avoid that. I mean, one could say it's creeper-assisted, what do you call it? Creeper-assisted mining, I guess? There we go. In the in-game rain, it lets me sleep earlier in the day, so I do like that. Okay, let's just leave that bed down because after that creeper, where are my torches? Actually, do I have... Let's go up here and see for a second. Do I have my creepers turned down? Nope. Okay. So then let's take a look at the basic sounds. Options. Hostile creatures. Those up a little bit. Because I can turn them down individually the other way. Maybe we'll do it that way. And then when things get too loud, I can always turn down the ones that are being very annoying. So one could say I've just rigged it, and I'll probably scare the snot out of myself a few times with spiders and so forth. Oh, we've got caves both directions. Okay. Well, that's less than optimal. Geez, found the zombie villager. Well, that's a dead ender. That's not a problem. That I can mine. I'm okay with that. But the other way is a bit of a pain. Alright, well, we'll let the zombie villager come to us. Hopefully I'll hear him. Okay. Yay! As for coming to us, he looks like he's on his way. So one of the things I'm debating going back to Journey Map. I would need to probably remap everything I've mapped so far from scratch, which is a bit of a pain. But the reason I'm thinking of going back is partly because the entities thing is getting a little more annoying than I originally expected. I have not found a way to turn it off, but also I'm missing certain features from the Journey Map waypoint system, just that I can turn on and off individual waypoints far easier than I can here. But they're equally able to be shared, so it's one of those I'm on the fence about it elements. I think more it's returning to old habits, I suppose. So, anyway, it's not a big deal. Yay, rain! In-game rain, I assume, because it's not raining outside, I hope. If you guys do hear extra noise, I'm not hearing anything right now, but if you guys do end up hearing a bit of extra noise through the stream today, we've got a company in our city that's actually installing for us some permanent outdoor lighting. So it's basically like you would expect holiday lights on your house, but these guys are installing permanent ones that we can actually control remotely. I'm excited about it. But we can set them for things like Christmas lights and so on, and that's what you would normally expect. But we can also use them any other time of the year that we would like. So, for example, we can give them sort of a yellowy, orangey harvest set of colors if we want to. For Halloween, we can make them go orange, and we can do all kinds of designs. Let's see, what else can we do? It's the early ones. Christmas lights, clearly, but we've got tons of control on what we can do with them, so we can make them do patterns. I don't think we can do light dancing. If we could, I wouldn't want to. I think those kinds of shows are a little bit cheesy. I hear you, sir. I do not see you yet, though. The reason I'm not taking out the zombie villager and just going and getting rid of him is that if he's there, then he's helping with the mob cap, which means hopefully I won't have anything worse show up. At least an adult zombie villager is somewhat predictable in size. Or not size and speed. So I'm looking forward to to finding out that the lights are done. Then we can play with them. We can do all kinds of things. I saw one of the neighbors who's got the same light sets installed, and in Easter they made them do like pink, yellow, and white routines. So I thought that was kind of cute. It was fun. Just something to add some cheer. In Canada, we'll find people that will put their lighting up at Christmas and then just sort of leave it on all year round. We've got one that leaves it on all year round, all day long, which doesn't work for me, but all year round is options. I wouldn't necessarily have it on every night. And during the deeper parts of winter, though, it's sometimes nice just to light up things and not have it quite so dark. I mean, your kids are getting up in the dark. I mean, adults too, but the kids are getting up in the dark, going to school in the dark, and oddly enough, by the time they come home from hanging out after school with their friends, it's not even all that late, and they're home in the dark. And it's one thing to deal with that as adults. Most of the time we can motivate, artificially and willpower-wise, motivate our way through it because we have to for the work hours, for the money. But kids, not so much. They don't handle that very well. Particularly not the early morning part. So it's nice to be able to potentially cheer up the neighborhood a little bit. As I mentioned in other streams, by the time we get snow on our roofs and snow on the ground, if you get a gray overcast day, the whole place seems very black and white, like a lot of the color has been sucked out. And it makes some of the houses with really vibrant siding look, well, they stand out a lot and they don't always look good. So we'll see if we can help. Yay! So I'm looking forward to that. That's a big one. And I haven't yet played with the new vacuum cleaner that I was talking about yesterday. So we'll see if I get to play with that one a little bit this weekend, or towards the weekend. Also Thursdays, normally during the main part of the year, September to June, I often have Scouts on Thursdays, so that's why I don't stream Thursday evenings. But, of course, Scouts hasn't wound up yet, or the regular weekly meetings haven't wound up yet. They're going to wind up on September, I think. And... Actually, is it going to be the first one in September? I'll have to check and see if we've got one coming next week that I don't want to miss. In any case, the point I was trying to make is, since I don't stream on Thursday evenings, my kids have asked tonight if I want to play some Scrap Mechanic with them. So I'm looking forward to that as well, because we have a good bit of fun going with that. When there's the 2 or 3 of us together, then it's much more fun for me. We can do a bit more progress, and also it's not as likely that we're going to end up utterly dead every single time. Whereas when I'm on my own, that seems to be the vast majority of the time I was splat. And I'm not great at driving the mechanic vehicles, like the... Oh, hello. I'm not that great at driving the vehicles that we build in-game, so it's going to be nice to be able to have somebody else drive for a bit. My daughter likes to play, but she's really easy to set off, and she gets frustrated quickly with other people's behavior while we play. So my laugh was a little bit mean. It wasn't meant to be mean, but it did come out mean, because, well, the proof is in the pudding as to whether or not she's going to want to play with us tonight. Sometimes she will, most of the time she doesn't. So we'll just have to see. She's not great at scheduling. I think it's just it's a learned skill. And what I mean by that is that sometimes she's, yeah, I'll play, but then nobody sets down exact start times because the kids have a sort of a more or less regular start time. So my son and I are tending to make what we thought was a reasonable assumption that we'd start at the usual time. But her assumption was more that, well, nobody said when to start, so I'll just wrap up whatever YouTube video I'm on when it's time to start. But of course, she, like I do, gets into rabbit holes, and one video becomes 2 videos, becomes 3 or 4, and then she just makes everybody annoyed. So we'll just have to see. I know it sounds like I'm being very negative on her this morning. To me, it's a bit of a reality. This week I have been trying to, we talked earlier about I was trying to keep up my walks. They have not been walks for fitness. They've just been walks to get out and get some fresh air. So I've been going with my son, and we've just been hitting up a few of the local Pokestops and Pokegyms and whatever for Pokemon Go. And that gets you, like, a walk around the neighborhood of like 3.5 kilometers. So we're talking tiny amounts. There's no way that I've hit my step goal at all this week. I am hitting sort of technically some of the heart rate goals, but that's because I just power walk the little pieces in between the stops. But it's not necessarily ideal. Okay, is that guy above or below? So anyway, we'll see. We'll see. As my husband likes to say, I shouldn't borrow trouble. Borrowing trouble is something I am incredibly good at. There we go. Let's put the 2 blocks down. This one has that. Gravel. Let's put the grass in here. Yeah, that one's full. Full. That one's full. Let's get a blank one. All right. I have excess beds. I guess I'm good. Let's get back at it. Oops. There we go. Respawn set. Just about done the top layer, which is a good start. I'm almost out of the haste range as well. So we've got one of those, at least it's a diamond shovel moments. I think I picked up an egg again. So eggs are one of the things that we've got predictions going on, or that we can do predictions on. I've not been doing them on a regular basis. The mods are welcome to throw one of them up anytime they like. Just go for it. But if anybody who is not a mod wants one, feel free to redeem an egg prediction. We're looking for other things to do with the clues. So we do have, and as I mentioned earlier this week, we have working on a Slytherin Lego banner build. We have available the Gryffindor's been done. We've got Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw's little banner room builds. While I was in Ireland, we picked up half a dozen brickheads from the Harry Potter line. So we've got the professors, and then we've got also Kingsley Shacklebolt, I think it was, from the Ministry of Magic, and Nymphadora Tonks, also from the Ministry. And so those are available as builds that we can work our way into as well. So we can sort of intersperse those between the banners. I guess that's about it for that news. So that's one thing we can spend it on. We're going to be having houses this weekend, and so those will eat a few points, because I know we have people with plenty in the coffers. But there will not be, at least not to start with, there will not be a limit on the number of houses. So that will mean that, provided we're not doing a whole ton for one person all at the same time, I have no objections if we end up with, like, I don't know, a DC neighborhood, or a Zerk neighborhood, I guess. Can't even make a portmanteau out of that. A Zerkahood? No, that doesn't make sense at all. Fantastic Shot Fox says he's into buying Lego build time, so there'll be some of that. I know we had one of our newest friends, Complete Noah, was into buying Lego as well. So there'll be that, and it sounds like, what I hear sounds like DC's into buying Lego, so we may end up with Lego chunks in the stream. And as I said, there'll also be some redeems for stories, and if the stories work out, then we'll be doing some more of them after the stream weekend's over as well. So I've got, I've got Rory's story cubes, but I don't have them with me. They're upstairs. Posted in my Discord, you'll see a picture of the Rory's story cubes, if you're not familiar with those. Basically, it's a little set of dice that's got pictures on the sides, and the idea is you roll the dice and make some sort of story that has to involve the pieces on the dice. I'm thinking about doing it intentionally cheaply for a 1-die roll at a time, and hopefully we'll get a few over the course of the stream weekend. But the idea is we add a piece to the story each time the dice gets rolled. And the reason I'm doing it that way rather than rolling out an entire bunch at once is that then we aren't rigging the story by letting me control which order the dice show up in. Because I've done that a few times with the kids, is we just rolled a bunch and then we put them in an order of our choosing and then tell a story with it, which is fine. It works, but it makes the stories seem far more canned rather than spontaneous. And sometimes that, by doing it broken up, it also allows us to potentially incorporate elements of whatever's going on screen or in chat at the time. Hello, Sheet. These guys are funny, because I keep thinking that they are the escapees we had when we were putting together the sheep farm, but that's certainly not possible because it's been long enough. I don't think I've been interrupted by quite so many animals all at once before. Certainly they weren't doing that last season. But I have to be careful what I wish for. If it wasn't animals, I'd end up with pillager raids. So, or pillager brigades. Let's see. Okay, so we've got a ton in here, and I wanted to double check, because I think this other level, the gray stuff, is high enough that I'm happy with it, but I just want to double check. So 120 where I'm standing is my goal height. So if I place dirt up to 119, I'm good. Alright. So we still have a ways to go on these hills, and there's going to be cave involved.
Hello.
Ooh. Hello, Tiz. How are you doing today? Good to see you. Good to see you. We had a creeper visit this morning. I was just about to fill that hole, and I realized how dumb that is. Let's do that so it makes it level. That's why. Yes, there's a reason. And it looks like we've lost either I'm in the wrong place, or it looks like we've lost our zombie villager that was harassing us, so I can't complain about that. We have more zombies, but the zombie villager that was here earlier isn't bugging me anymore. And why am I placing dirt? Because it's more of a habit, I suppose. Okay. Yep. So we're at 127 on this one, but we've got some nice plateaus we could probably work with. So I'm just going to fill in, there's a dip down here, I'm going to fill that in. Probably take off this little island piece. And we'll take a look at this one to see if it needs peeling down. It should be okay. Okay to work with. Looking at the size of, using the yurt for scale, so if, in theory, if any house was that size, or slightly smaller, then we could get quite a number of them in without having to worry about running into problems with spacing. Down here's going to be an absolute mess. That's one of those we're going to need to fix it as we go elements, which is why I was peeling things down. They may not even get there. Who knows? Maybe the town walls will just be too big this season. And then it becomes a live and learn activity. Yeah, the map feature, one of the reasons I insist on using a mini map when I can, and a full-size map, is the bigger key. It's so much planning that makes it more useful, particularly when I'm trying to reference loosely to another property that exists already. Also, it helps when things start getting into really large scale. Like last season, I used it a lot for taking a look at just how big one of my stone builds was getting, because I was doing a Sherlock Holmes statue that ended up being 70 layers high. And while that sounds impressive, it was a pain in the butt to put together because it was hollow on the inside. So, yeah. I mean, I still use Litematica, but it was annoying because I went inside and went, oh, I'm going to make this solid. Yeah, not a good idea. Okay, where are we here? Main thought. I said I was going to do something and then I completely and utterly missed it. Right by the cave, down the hill. That's what it was. This way. Not quite worth me flying. Otherwise I would. I said by the cave, but down the hill. Right? Right. There's the cave. And down the hill. Okay, that's the one I want to fill. Just this one bit. The other thing is I have not lit any of this up other than the cave itself that we just saw, or even part of that. Just enough to keep them out of my face. And so we're going to have, as we build this weekend, we're going to have buddies bothering us, but that's okay. That's what sleeping is for. We don't have to play the sleeping game on this one. You know, Java has one player sleep that works. Yay. Oh, really? Come on. How come I cannot place Worth a Hill of Beans today? Yeah, let's just do it the classic way. And of course it's sleep time, isn't it? Grass, you annoy me. Alright. Can I get this hole filled in before I need to go sleep? Chicken, you gave me a bit of a heart attack. Oh, lovely, we've got creepers. Am I the only one on? Yep. Just me. Yay! Got the place to myself. Just kidding. I actually like it when there's people on, but then sometimes people feel that they can't say anything when someone else is streaming. But as our notable patron Deadcraft proved last night, it really doesn't take much to just shut that part off so that you don't hear a lot of the chatter or see a lot of the chatter. What do I have for... Okay, so I'm going to have tons of blocks right now, which means I might as well... Keep missing the hole. First off, let's eat, just in case I mess up. I'm going to go in here. Yeah, that's what I figured might happen.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, sorry for me concentrating at the moment. I just got mobs being a bit of a hassle. Here we go. Whoa, 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 whoa. Dude, go away. Not all of them.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, there we go. Hello, Justin. How are you doing? Oh, seriously, dude. Go away. So welcome on in, Raiders. Good to see you, I think. My timing was just pretty terrible. I walked into a cave that had a few things in it, and so I was focusing on getting rid of them. I play in a rather casual format, for those of you that aren't aware. Yeah, I play a great big chicken. So it's really good to see everybody come in. Yep. And Thursday. Well, I mean, hey, if Tuesday's for tacos, Thursday is for trolls. Right? Why not? There. Why not? Thursday can be for trolls. So I'm just plugging up the holes. They don't harass me, and I know it's going to be higher than the level I want. 121 I can, oops, I can handle, I think. So where I'm standing at right now, I could probably handle, but I'm going to fill it up anyway, so that if I peel down with the mining, then I won't end up in the cave. That's the plan anyways. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. Thus far, I got lucky today, so I'm hoping my luck holds out. We'll see. And because I had the creeper come up right behind me, I didn't notice, didn't even see it, and I just knocked me forward. Which feels really weird when I'm using the Show Me Your Skin mod, because it looks like I don't have any armor on, but I'm actually wearing it all. So it's an odd feeling. Oops, there we go. So the reason I'm using the Show Me Your Skin mod, it's kind of pointless when I'm using first-person view. It's not about wanting to see my character's arm or anything like that. Did I double? Oh, right, okay. The reason I'm using it is partly for when I see other players. So, ooh, a little too dark. For stream weekend and such, it means that I can see other players because people put a lot of effort into their skins. And yeah, we've got the trims now, which allow us to do some sort of decorative work to our armor to be somewhat individual, but it still covers up all the work that people have done for their own skin work. So I figured let's expose that. Let's see the other players. You know, and I don't have to have all of it turned off. I can even just have, like, say, just their helmet, so I see their head, which kind of makes a bit more sense. I mean, you'd have a knight who would take his helmet off most of the time, unless he's part of the Black Knight Security Services, in which case it would be nice if we could dye our armor. That'd be so much fun. Geek Out. 4 songs about sports. There's a song called I Don't Like Cricket? Wow. Wow. I need to hear this song at some point, because that sounds like a lot of fun. They wouldn't take their own arm off or leg, they would complain about it when somebody else did. Your bleeding arm's off! No? I can't even find my own buttons. There you go.
What are you gonna do? Bleed on me?
I haven't used my own sound buttons in so long that I don't even remember which one is placed where half the time. That's why I have to read my labels. But, yeah. And I've got far too many sounds. I know people are very familiar with the blurp system. So, I mean, there's a few I selected there that are free, but some other free ones involve... do I even have the Wookiee one on here? No, I don't. What the heck? This one. As you can see, that one popped up in chat as hashtag Chewy. So there's another sound page. It's from... oh shoot, who's it from? I'll just do it this way. Info sounds. There we go. So the Sound Booth bot actually has a sound list, and that's the ones that's got a bunch of free ones for done by hashtag. Because I use commands with exclamation points, just that I purposely don't run into the hashtag thing. I could have chosen hashtag as my command thing, but I chose not to. Chose. Wow. So little sense. Anyway, there are plenty of silly things that one can do, and including trolling, so all kinds of stuff. Which gives too much choice, and the problem with too much choice is that people don't use it because there's just too much choice. The good old hockey game? Yeah. Canadian country icon Stompin' Tom Connors. The good old hockey game. Take Me Out to the Ball Game had not been mentioned yet, so you got that one, Tiz, for sure. So are we at 3 now? I think? 3? Oh, trying to remember which group did it. Fantastic Sherlock Fox will know. There's one that did Frozen Puck to the Head. It's not technically about the hockey game, exactly. It's about a goalie who fell in love with the waitress at his diner, and therefore he really screwed up in goal. They quit, or he quit, they got married, he went back to playing hockey, except then he was defenseman. I don't know if it's about sports in that one, though. I guess tangentially, maybe. I guess we Yes, the Arrogant Worms, that's the one. Arrogant Worms also very Canadian, but if you're into semi-comedy songs, go for it. Definitely check them out. They have some pretty interesting ones. If you're into, yeah, silly stuff. So they do songs about Canada being large. They've done a song about a Winnebago, which I don't know why, but they did. Ooh, a South African song, Here Come the Boka. I wonder if that's a team name or if it's a word for the sport. I'd have to ask. Okay, where are we here? So I've plugged up the holes so we don't have mobs harassing at the moment. I've flattened that out. Let's take off the one extra lump that was in the way. Oops, wrong way. How am I losing... Oh, I see. My sense of direction got completely shot there for a minute, and I was trying to figure out why I couldn't figure out where I was on the map. One, you can see me leaning around the microphone, because my mini-map's in the corner. Two is... this little lump? Yeah, there we go. Two is that I had got myself to the other side of the beacon and didn't realize that I was looking at the wrong side of things. There we go. Okay. Oh, I didn't even realize I picked up the boots. Gotcha. Okay, I mispronounced it altogether. That's Baka. That makes more sense. It is. Sometimes it's actually a little bit of fun displaying some of my ignorance because that allows me to learn new things. Okay, so I have most of this gray stuff. I can just put one more layer on and I'm happy camper. Looks like we've got a low section down in here that needed a bit more stone. So let's see, do I have it in... Yeah, we should have enough. Let's finish that spot. Random stuff. This one, that one. Boots, flowers, dirt. Okay. And I will throw the egg because those are... I didn't even check to see if it was going to get us a chicken. That's dumb. Come on, use your head. Okay, so we're going to be doing placing. Quite a lot of it. So it's probably worth moving the beacon. Which is a bit of a, as we say, a bit of a pain, but we can do it. Alright. You would think that the beacon itself, at least the bottom row, would come down faster because the Haste 2 has not actually expired yet. But it's a little slower than I expected. Although I think insta-mining my beacon down might be a bad idea in the long run anyway. I have no idea what song this is that I'm just playing here. A song called The Adventure by an artist called Ghost and Ghost. As in Ghost apostrophe N Ghost. This is from the Streamtunes service. So at the moment it's a free Canadian system, somewhat like somewhat like Harris Heller's Stream Beats. But this one has a bunch of artists involved. And provided that they get credit by allowing it to pop up saying Streamtunes in the screen and or message in the text, then they haven't had a problem with it, which is great. If it does get caught on YouTube, you just put your YouTube address in their website and they go, oh, that's fine. And they release all the claims. It's great. apparently they check the YouTube stuff supposedly just to track all the users that they're using. Apparently, like it's free for personal use, but if I was doing like a big corporate thing, then I'd be supposed to be paying some sort of one-time licensing fee, but their information isn't totally clear. All right, where am I going? Southeast to the Gap. Go. Best place to put this would be... Probably on this hill here. Ish. Alright, that's the smallest bit of land than I figured it would be. Over there in the square spot will do for now. For now. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Turns out you misremember the title. It's in Afrikaans. Oh, gotcha. I've had that happen before, though, with a few of my daughter's friends' parents. Is they're just so comfortable in both languages that they'll actually just switch back and forth, converting as they go, and they don't even realize that it's in Afrikaans rather than English. But I have a silly question I don't think I've ever asked before. Loosely, Tiz, would you mind me asking, where are you? Because I didn't think you were that far south. Maybe we are. That's cool, if it is the case. By the way, you don't even have to answer that question. Cool. That would be an odd one to be into from down there, I would agree. Washington, okay, cool. So you've got a Canadian expat. Washington's not too bad. I mean, they've at least got the Senators. But I'm not a huge hockey person. I'll watch it when it's on. So as in, like, if we go to Pizza Place or something and they've got hockey on, I will watch it. Same with Canadian football. Not so much American football, some, but not as much. And the one that I never remember the schedule to, but if it's on, I will be glued, is curling. Which is kind of silly, because I can't think of many people that would do that. A lot of people I know think that it's a pretty silly sport. That's what happens when you end up with a mom from rural Canada. Is curling is a big thing for them. Oh right, I forgot to copy paste that. Sorry, I just saw a pop-up from our Discord reminding me that today's question of the day needed to be passed on. There we go. I like that one, so we're going to put it in our chat for the day, just to move the water out of the way.
Hello.
Where did the question of the day go? This one. Edit. Properties, please. Go. Okay, so it's going to show on screen, but it probably won't show in the chat. There we are. So today's question of the day says, what weird food combination do you really enjoy? Now, it could be something that, I know it's an ad that just came up, so apologies to everybody for that. Excuse me. But in terms of weird food combinations, my answer to that was, for example, I like peanut butter with pickle sandwiches. Specifically, the pickles would be like garlic dills. Come on. Oh. That was not what I wanted. Doesn't have double anyways. This one, that one, yeah, okay. Brain, don't fail me now. So I like peanut butter and pickle sandwiches. That's my thing. The other one, there we go. Fantastic Shaw Fox's weird food combination would be Jamaican jerk chicken with mushrooms on rice. Now, we need to be a little more specific in this case, or I'm going to clarify. Fantastic Shaw Fox means he likes black pepper jerk chicken, as opposed to the more red style. Because the red seems to be a bit more common up here, sort of a Caribbean jerk, whereas he likes the more black pepper Jamaican. I can't handle that one. It actually makes me feel ill. And I can't stand the smell. It's not stinky as such, it's just, it's got quite a strong black pepper scent to it, which does not do well for me. Okay, let's see how far that gets us. Hopefully we don't need a whole lot more of the stone. Couple layers, okay, great. So yeah, he likes that, and he makes it when the kids and I go to camp. Although I don't know if we've ever done a test around the kids in terms of whether or not they can handle it, the scent of it being made in the house. That'd be an interesting test to try, just because then we'd know if he had to wait till we had both kids away at camp, or if he could make it when only one of them is away. Someone once suggested to me that if I liked peanut butter and pickles, that I either try it as an open-faced sandwich, although it doesn't really matter. I mean, I could do whatever. Other people suggested I try it on toast. Some people have suggested that I try putting a strip or two of streaky bacon in with that. Or bacon in North America, I guess. The streaky thing is sort of a UK reference. Hey Rogue! Good to see you. How are you doing? How are you in perfect holding out? Thank you very much for letting us drop into stream yesterday. I hadn't rated you in a Coon's Age, and I saw your name come up and went, oh yeah! Rogue's awesome. I need to go over there. So, but I'm sorry to hear that you broke your headphones. I hope you get some that you enjoy soon. When you mentioned you were using noise-canceling headphones, I was actually vaguely wondering if they were new enough to have had a switch that shuts the noise-canceling off. A lot of the ones that our house has has, yes, that sort of switch, so that's a possibility. Okay. But you've caught me placing again. Placing. More stone, more stone, more stone. My goal is roughly to get to 120-ish, though with these ones I'm filling in right now, I'm just going to go to 119 and then try to blend up to 120 a little bit as we build things. I just wanted a bit more flat. This gray area started out in the southeast section with a great big deep chasm that I've just covered over, and I put a few more layers on top. It's not going to be dead flat, but yeah, lots and lots of placing. So far so good. It's been an adventure at work today, says Rogue. So I'm taking advantage of my lunch break to hang out in streams. Ooh. Did somebody finally get upset enough that you can access streams at work, or is it on your own connection? Because you were mentioning yesterday that it's, for good reason, supposedly, blocked at work so that you can't watch streams or in the way people listen to radio. Ah. Well, hopefully we're not eating too much data. There's quite a few that actually listen on their phones, so apologies in advance for any super tiny stuff going on screen. It's kind of hard to see on a phone. And if you're into data, what was it? Oh, I'm trying to remember what the word is. data minimization, I guess, is probably the best word. Apparently, nothing under 480 seems to have both the sound and the video cooperative at the same time. I don't know why. Neon Traveler's been trying to test that with me, and we just haven't been able to nail down what the reasoning is, which is too bad. Fantastic Sherlock Fox and I figured out a while back that for some reason, if we don't have the video running at all, and we were just trying to use our phones for chat because we were watching the video part on a big television screen, it turned out that we weren't getting channel points for it at all. Not even the TV screen version was being logged in on my account, and it wasn't even getting viewership channel points. So I don't know what happened there, but yeah, I've noticed the same thing elsewhere with other channels too. Can't win them all. So yeah, I'm filling out this one. We're on 117, so I've only got this level and one more level to do in stone, and then we can throw some dirt on top, so I guess I need more. And I'm frequently getting myself turned around here, which is dumb because you would think with a beacon I'd be able to figure out where things are, but apparently not. There we go. I thought I was done, and then I didn't realize I was 1 level down, 2 levels down. This one might not be too bad if I finish off the 116 to get to 117, and then I grass that over. That actually won't be bad. It's a bit low for what I wanted, but we'll see. Basically, the idea is that I want to be able to make houses for a town that aren't itty-bitty mushroom matchboxes, but the terrain, particularly to the south of my main base zone, is far too lumpy and bumpy to make anything that's decent size. So, I mean, if they were all the size of this white yurt here, that wouldn't be horrible, but I couldn't extend it right out towards the walls. So, yeah. The Dadcraft73 community is having a stream weekend this weekend. We do have, or we're not going 24/7 on them. We actually do have overnight breaks, but we managed to fill up Saturday, and then up to, I think we're finishing 11 p.m. Eastern, I think, is the end of the last one. So that worked out well for everybody, but it's funny because it could be because it's summer, or the tail end of summer. It could be just some other factors I'm unaware of, with kids going back to school or people getting work underway or whatever. But it always seems to be that we're filling slots at the 11th hour. When we first started Stream Weekends, we were excited enough about them that we were able to get a full slate really quickly. Bang, bang, bang. There we go. And then so we had about a week of time to put up our posters. Right? Where did I put it? There we go. Oh, or not. What does that button do? That button does nothing. That's okay. That is okay. Where is this one? Let's try that again. There we go. So we have a good set coming up. I've got a 2-hour stream on Saturday, and then we've got some great people before me and after me. Some of whom you've seen in stream, and I did not realize Geek Out was above that. Interesting. Oh, I see why. Okay. There we go. So for people who can actually get there, I would definitely recommend checking out as many of the community as you can. There'll be a variety of stuff from the Bedrock server and from the Java server. So my plan for the weekend is we're going to be doing houses, hopefully telling stories, and building gateways in the wall to be able to connect more of our base outwards beyond. That's the main plan. We've also got a potential lodging to build for the dude in charge at our monastery, which is interesting because I don't know if it'll even be lived in. I don't think I'm going to put anybody in there, but I haven't decided for sure. I may try and just turn the head of the monastery into being an iron golem. I mean, that's a possibility too. In any case, what have we got? Have a great rest of your day. Enjoy. Yeah, it's all good. So thanks Rogue, for dropping in, hopefully we caught... scrolling back up here. I did not see the shutouts come by for Rogue, so if we could just get one in there even though he may have slipped out already, that would be appreciated. Because his stream was fun. More of you may be more familiar with Perfect Shot. And Rogue and Perfect Shot dwell together, so they sometimes video bomb one another, which is always good for a laugh. We did get a shoutout. Awesome. See? I was asleep at the switch. That's not a surprise. It's probably par for the course. I'm doing this I would say the wrong way or the long way. Can I get a long run? Not a vertical one anyways. That stinks. Where are we here? This one, that. Okay, good. That's a little faster. But yes, we will be hopefully done laying large chunks of blocks by the time the weekend comes around. If I don't get this done, then we'll just ignore it and use the already flat space for the rest of the weekend. Because that'll give us a start. I don't expect to be able to fill the entire town in a day. It's not gonna happen. But in with this whole play-life balance kind of thing, I'm trying to make sure that I get out and about a bit more. Just at least stretch and stuff like that. It's not for numbers, although that's a huge influencer. Or for how I feel, though that's another huge influencer. Pardon me. It's just one of those things that one should do, you know? Go for a walk. Drink lots of water. Eat healthy, that sort of jazz. Could eat healthy. I take in moderation. I'm actually having some quantity issues. So one of the things I started doing is I had an excuse. You know, everybody and their dog has an excuse to eat more when they're pregnant, because people claim, yeah, you're eating for 2, or even shortly thereafter, you know, yes, you're feeding for 2. Great. The problem is I overdid it. And there's been research to show that once you've gone that far, you've basically tricked your body, and it never again really becomes as sensitive to the chemicals that tell your body that it's full or that you're satisfied. That your body just doesn't make as much of it. And so you're sort of, I can say doomed, but you can't rely on that anymore as a way of saying, okay, yeah, I've had enough, I can stop now. An announcement? I'm not sure, Poodle. I'm really not sure. Don't think so. But anyways, where I'm going with that one is to say that even once the kids go back to school, I won't be spending lots of extra time on here doing grindy stuff, so there will still be streams that are like this, where we're placing blocks. There we go. Or stripping things down or whatever. And there will be some grind done on stream just because... Thank you, because I don't know where I put... Oh. I was going to say I don't know where I put the bed. It's probably over at the beacon, and I got over the beacon and it wasn't here, and I was wondering what was going on. I am a natural blonde, for what that's worth, if anything. There we go. No. No. When I was eating for 2 for kids. More than a decade ago. Yeah, there we go. So, yes, no announcement you missed. No. When I had been eating for 2, I was overeating, and so unfortunately have been battling the numbers ever since and failing. So I want to start making sure I do continue to get out and try and get more closer more frequently to, you know, healthy step numbers. Perfect! When would you like that, Fantastic Sherlock Fox? Now or later? For end of stream? Okay, perfect, yep. So, let me just... do I have... I know what I'll do. That'll remind me. I'm just gonna grab the paper book and stick it in front of my screen so it reminds me. Alright. So, we can add, and anybody who wants to add to that and make it more than 5 minutes at the end of stream can do so if they like, or if they want it earlier, that's fine too. Yeah, so because I can't just say, oh, I feel full, this is good, the problem is that doesn't happen enough or soon enough anymore. So yeah, I need to get out, and so that means that when I complain I don't have enough time to do stream, it's not that, it's that I'm trying to be more human and help out more with actually folding things and putting dishes away and all those generic household chores that I've kind of been saying, oh, I need to grind for stream, was my excuse because I enjoy the streaming thing. Yeah, I'm trying to work on that. It's not a perfect solution, but I figure if I can start something while everybody's, you know, at home to distract me when I get bored, then maybe I'll be able to start making a habit out of it that I can keep working on when the kids go back to school. That's the plan, which means that I don't end up with a whole lot of extra time, and sometimes things take up, you know, when you get on a roll doing something, or if you're catching up on a mountain of, say, laundry that you've left behind, then sometimes it can take a little bit of time between that and lunch and whatever. And right now for me, things always take longer than necessary, so I'm still working on that part. And next thing you know, you turn around and it's stream window again. So 1 in the morning, and if there's 1 in the evening, yeah. So like yesterday, for example, I thought, okay, well, my stream ended, well, ballpark saying noon my time, and then I figured, okay, well, I will let myself just grind away here till 1, because that's when we usually have lunch. Fox's meetings went a little bit long, so it was 1:30. No worries. By the time I actually came upstairs, it was 1:45, my bad. And then ate lunch, and then after lunch I went for about a nearly 2-hour walk with my son to do Pokemon stops. By the time we got back, I had less than 10 minutes to freshen up and start stream, so needless to say I was a tiny bit behind the 8 ball and missed it on the start. So it's just, I need to figure out the balance. And I'm going to, and it sounds weird, but if there is an announcement hidden in all of that, it's to say that I don't necessarily know if I want to be fully accountable in the way that some of the other streamers we watch have had redeems to say, how you doing? About that sort of thing. But I may come up and stream more, so I can say, hey, on today's walk or, you know, did or didn't get one for whatever reason, but that people can totally call me out on it if it sounds like an excuse. So yeah. A lot of it is also for health reasons too, because in my family and extended family, you know, as usual, everybody has cholesterol issues and heart issues and pick your disease of the week, so to speak. And I'm not trying to make light of people's health issues, but I'm just saying there's a lot of stuff going on that one needs to generically take care of one's health for, but when it runs in the family, it becomes a little bit more so. So yeah, that's the plan. Okay, so where was I started? Oh, I know. Simply saying I don't know if we'll get all of the prep done before stream weekend. Yes, okay. So the TLDR, or TLDL, I guess, too long didn't listen, was health improvements hoped for, may not actually get more stream stuff in, and may blather on about it on stream. Yeah, that's about it. There we go. Also, Fox, Fantastic Sherlock Fox is in far better fitness than I am, but it bothers him when he's not. As in, we have Apple Watches and they have little circles on them. I mean, people have seen the same sort of thing with their Fitbits and so on. But there's conversation at night where it's like, I'm 2% away from closing my rings for the day. I've got to go do whatever. And he goes off to, like, get the coffee ready for the next day or something. But I think he rigs it to take extra steps. What I mean by that is, rather than taking one, you know, take your glass with you when you go up the stairs, you go up and you go, oh, I forgot the glass. You come back downstairs, you come back up and you take the glass with you. And then, you know, whatever, refill it, etc. And then you come back down going, okay, well, I need to check the doors before we go to bed. Well, you could have done that while you're up at the glass, but I think it's partly intentional to make sure he gets the steps. Apple's very kind in that they will send you a little notice that says, hey, you could, this is 119? Yeah. So they basically say, hey, you know, you could actually get your rings closed if you take a brisk 10-minute walk. Cool. I like that idea, except that they tell you that at like 11:30 at night. I don't know about you, but I'm not super keen about walking after dark at night. I wouldn't mind if they sent me one at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock that says, you'd be much farther ahead if... No? But, whatever. Haha. Well, little, I'm assuming you, like most of the world, have a smartphone or mobile phone. If so, what is your operating system of choice? Like, are you one that prefers Android or clearly not Apple? Yeah, Android, okay. Some of the, Fitbits are great. I've had Fitbits for years. I found them slightly limiting, but on the other hand, some of the other products out there aren't half bad either. Like Garmin's got a good one, even though it's more expensive. What else I've seen like the Garmin's I like. There's also Android Wear products that are half decent as well. Although I will say I was a little bit puzzled by my father-in-law's wife when we were in Ireland, because she was wearing a rather large, I don't know how to explain it, watch-style fitness tracker. Like, it didn't look like a narrow Fitbit band. It was definitely a good-sized, solid thing. And yet, it was a good-sized, solid thing, but still she insisted on wearing a watch as well. I don't get it. It could be a hangover from her job, because I would not be surprised if she ended up in places where, for security reasons, she's not allowed to smart anything just because they're all afraid that it might have watches and listening devices, or sorry, cameras and listening devices. Maybe. I don't know. I've also seen people, which I would not recommend either, by the way, but I've also seen people who wear something like a Fitbit and purposely go for one of the super skinny models. So similar to like a wide wristband, or they start looking like a medical alert bracelet by the time they're that skinny. And then what the person chooses to do is wear that alongside their regular watch on the same arm as their regular watch. It takes a bit more fussing to get the Fitbit sensitivity correct when you do that, but since it seems to be a fashion thing to be wearing our watches very loose, that I could see that it might work. It just looked a little odd to me, though, to see that on both sides. I've had my first Apple Watch since Apple Watches came out. So my brother had it after me, like I gave it to him. But my first Apple Watch device was that, and I didn't necessarily sing the praises of it initially. It was fantastic for me because I had a bit of a phone addiction. Still kind of do, but not nearly as bad as it was back then. But the phone addiction was such that I have a likelihood, of doing the while I'm here, I will. While I'm here, I will. And at the time I was also playing a lot of games that had check-ins. So they all want you to stay constantly connected to the game if you can, or repeatedly coming back throughout the day. And of course, if that's one of those ones that I also fall into a hole, saying, I will do such and such while I'm here, and then by the time I'm done, whatever that other thing is, oh, well, the game needs interaction again. So my very first Apple Watch was bought by Fox out of a bonus that he got, because, one of the things it helped with is that it had the notifications. I could do the fitness thing in lieu of my Fitbit at the time. But it just meant that I could look at the notification and go, oh, that's important, or oh, that's not important. And generally not fuss with the phone anywhere near as much. Also, I was actually wearing out, we still have it, but I was wearing out one of the portable batteries that we own because my phone was forever out of battery because I was always using it so much. And one would think, well, I'll just spread that to another device. You can say, yeah, I did, but an Apple Watch, even at its 9-hour limit, was still longer than my phone was lasting by about double. So it was a win at that time. And I've had one just about. I haven't had all of the models since. I think I went from a. Don't remember if I had one between 0 and 3, because I had the model that Apple called Apple Watch, and they never really called it something else until Series 3 came out. I think maybe it might have been Series 2, but they actually started calling it Series something. Whereas that's not a proper usage of the word. The Series 2, or sorry, not Series 2. They actually had a model that they referred to as Series 1 when they started talking about stuff in terms of compatibility for the operating systems and so on. And that was a model after the first one I had. So I guess technically I had Series 0. There we go. But I shouldn't say I've loved it, but it's been fairly useful. And my big thing is, aside from the getting teased over what my office sometimes jokingly called the heebie-jeebies phone, or the Jeebus phone, and no, I'm not mispronouncing that, they actually would call it the Jeebus phone, or I used to actually be the tech support for that device. So I worked for an internet service provider, and I was sort of their resident Apple geek. I used Windows computers at work, got a Windows computer at home, but for a while had a Mac computer at home as well, had grown up on Macs, and knew a good amount of the commands for Darwin Linux, which is really what's underneath the hood in Mac OS. And not getting all super nerdy on you, but simply saying that. So one of the things I liked about it is, for most features, you could do advanced stuff, which would get you all into all kinds of trouble. But for most features, really there wasn't much that that you could get into trouble with on an Apple device, particularly on the Apple phones. It was so binary that it just worked. Now, it wasn't always to everybody's taste. And for a long time, Android's getting better about it now, but for a long time, because there were so many providers and so many different models of phones, that it's very fragmented ecosystem, which made it A, difficult to troubleshoot, and B, there were times where battery issues would surface, or battery life issues would surface, because an app wasn't particularly tuned for that model of phone. We had several issues with Fantastic Sherlock Fox's Android phones overheating, just because we had the batteries running longer, doing different things. And we didn't end up having those issues with Apple, so eventually enough of the family went Apple that we just decided that Fantastic Sherlock Fox was going to go Apple too, because he wanted two things. One, he wanted to be part of the ecosystem the rest of the family was part of, with iPads and so on. And second was that he wanted something that he couldn't/didn't have to tweak to get it to work the way he wanted it to. Apple just seemed to work without any intervention. Yeah, we had a no technology rule unofficially for a while, but then when Fantastic Sherlock Fox was sort of, I guess, on call, he had to have his phone there. We do still consider it rude to be on your phone at the table. I'm guilty of, there are some exceptions, but our kids haven't yet got away with it. And for the most part, Fantastic Sherlock Fox doesn't do stuff at the table. We just know that it's got to be there. Part of what we use it for is there's some streaming. We love streaming radio, particularly from a service called Sorcerer Radio. So I've talked about this one before, srsounds.com. And it's all Disney music all the time, which is great. And you can get park sounds and people's recorded soundtracks. And we stream that. And it used to work directly with our Google Home devices, but Google, in their infinite, I don't know, they call it wisdom, I wouldn't, once again went and changed the instructions on how commands work, and so the service was not able to be voice controlled from their device anymore directly. But we can still use the Google Home devices as a Bluetooth speaker to pick up stuff from our phones, but of course then we need to control that from somewhere. Hence, the phone made its way back to the table. Yeah, smart watches make it more difficult to do technology at the table, but it also makes it easier in some respects, because when Fantastic Sherlock Fox and I both have our iWatches, particularly when I've got something going on at Scouts or whatever, like for him it was work, where a message can come in, he just glances at his watch and goes, okay, I can deal with that later, or he knows how to, pardon me, that makes me sound like a kid, or he'll politely excuse himself because it's something he has to deal with for work, and it's still, once again, not at the table. So, I mean, it's got its pros and cons. He likes it can be always connected without having his phone with him all the time. Sometimes he feels like he's never disconnected. I can believe that, although it's an improvement over when he used to have 2 phones at the table. That was not the world's greatest. Huh. I got myself into a weird shape that I can't seem to decide whether I should go vertically or horizontally just to get all the strips done to connect this thing all into one. Yeah. There we go. So, yeah, we don't want the kids to feel that they need to be reachable at all times. On the other hand, we're still teaching them about making sure that you respond to somebody with at least a notice that you've received the message, or confirmation that you've received the message, within a reasonable amount of time. And what's reasonable to a kid and what's reasonable to an adult is different. And it's not necessarily texts from us. I mean, it could be like from grandparents or something, because particularly with the older technology set, they'll send a message either by a text or by email, and then, a couple hours later, or even later in the day, or the next day, we'll get a message from them as parents saying, "I sent something to your daughter, and I haven't heard back yet. Did she get it?" And it's like, there's a point at which I'm going to be like, where I just don't want to be their go-between anymore, because I want to be able to have them having direct connections with their grandparents. They're at a point where they're old enough to speak for themselves. We're trying to encourage grandparents and others to talk to the kids directly, now that they're double digits at least, and they can answer questions for themselves. It's not just technologically, I mean, even in the same room. Sometimes they're asking parents, but we're in the same room with them, and I just think that's rude. So anyways, trying to get the kids to have their own conversations with people, and that involves actually responding on a regular basis. The other part of it is we want to make sure that when they're used to their devices, it won't necessarily be, "Oh, well, somebody's phoning me. I don't like being phoned, so I'm just not going to answer the phone." That's fine. I've done that too. But then if somebody leaves me a voicemail that actually requires information, that's an indication that I should respond to them. It doesn't necessarily have to be the same way, but it does need to have a response. The kids are getting better at responding to their friends. I actually quite liked the experiment we did with our daughter while we were in Ireland. So she didn't actually have a phone. She only had... Oh, okay, let me correct that. She didn't have a phone before we went to Ireland. We got her one literally just before we went. So she didn't have a Canadian provider in her phone, because, I mean, the phone showed up like 2 days before. No, actually the day before. So she didn't have that. But we've got Wi-Fi, and she's had a tablet before, but she would respond to her friends a lot. It's just that our daughter's actually, I'll give her credit, she's actually more restrained with when she responds to her friends than her friends are when they message her. Which is interesting, because she's learning early about what it took me 5 years of tech support to learn, that she doesn't like being directly responding to things all the time. All day, all the time. Like, that's the reason I don't like telephone calls, because I used to be frontline tech support. You know, you got called, that was the job. So how this plays in is that she's good at responding or messaging her friends at a decent hour or spreading them out throughout the day. But her friends are not, and they're still sending one-word texts to each other. And sending an image of their face, and then expecting you to understand without any explanation that means they want a FaceTime voice chat. And my daughter goes, what? What do you want? Like, not me, but to them, what do you want? But actually asks them, like, a whole question most of the time. And they're just still not very good at it. It's like, hey, you there? Hello? You there? It's kind of like that old, you know, the old, I think it was AT&T, maybe it was, when they started doing mobile phones. Can you hear me now? Walk a little further. Can you hear me now? I think Bell's taken that one over. But anyway, so the friends do this to her. And then some of them, not all of them, but some of her friends don't have a legislated end time of the day for electronics use. So eventually we had to talk to our daughter about the friend that does this kind of "can you hear me now" thing. We have to say, you know, you need to tell her that you're not allowed electronics after a particular time. Well, she'll figure it out. It's like, clearly she's not, because it dings repeatedly after that hour. And so eventually my daughter did tell her that, which is fine. But then it'd be like, well, okay, I'll send you a message at 9:30 at night, and then if you haven't responded to me by 8 in the morning the next morning, then I'm going to be dinging you again. It's like, no, that's not how the world works. So I'm the one who's got my nose in a knot and hung up about it. Most of the time when I mention these sorts of things, Fantastic Sherlock Fox just kind of gives me this look as in like, you're the one with the hang-up, you figure it out. So, yeah, it's the toss-up. You can kind of tell, I guess part of the training is not at the table, but also part of the training is, or teaching, is hide a little bit better what you think of people. Because if you don't deem someone like a grandparent important enough to respond to within 24 hours when they send you an email, you're kind of making it clear that you don't particularly care, and that's not necessarily polite, so there's etiquette things there. But then there's also etiquette to friends about if they didn't respond to you within 5 minutes, either A, they're not there, or B, they're busy. So, anyway, me and ranting and whatever. Hello, Big Hairy GM. How are you doing? It's not Saturday yet, no! Which also means that I'm not doing the big project that I'm saving for Saturday. And it's not even a really big project. I mean, I make it sound big, but because things that I do always take longer than just about anybody else, I can't say, hey, I'm building a castle, and actually expect to get that done in the length of a stream. So, yeah. I squirrel too much. But, so one of the things we did as a test when we were in Ireland was to see, okay, if my daughter had an activity anywhere and everywhere for the first time with I was going to say pay-as-you-go, but I mean, they got unlimited data. Like a prepaid SIM sort of thing. Would she be messaging her friends all the time? One of the things we showed her right off the bat, and my son too, we showed both of them how to use the world clock on their phone so that they knew what time it was for their friends when they were messaging. And that was useful. But I think we actually also asked our sort of in-laws about what they thought of her behavior, because my father-in-law's wife has nieces and nephews, and so at least some of the nephews have phones of their own, and so she's seen, you know, teenagers and kids roughly the same age as ours actually with their phones, and how did they behave, and they were actually giving us pretty positive feedback about our daughter's behavior, so we figured that was good. It didn't seem too intrusive. Hey Noah, welcome back. Good to see you. Hope you slept well when you finally did get to sleep. Yay! Not intending to go long today. I could, but since I've got a stream on Saturday, I probably won't. And it's not to be... I still have plenty to do. I will probably be playing long, but I don't think I'm going to be live long just because, one, I'd end up going on and on and on about telephones again, probably. And two is that I don't get a whole lot more done while I'm not online, but I think it would be a little bit more helpful for our kids if they were able to come chatter at me and me be more available to them. So this is their last full week without school. They go back to school. Actually, I guess it's this day next week. So we're running out of time for that. Yeah, exactly. Less than 15 minutes before the end of stream, and no one has claimed first. Did it actually pop up anything on the screen when you did that? It's supposed to. It doesn't play a special tune for that, though. I thought it was supposed to at one point, but I think I turned the tune off for some reason, because oh, I know what it was. The sound clip I was using was too long, so I was getting nailed for copyright. Anyway, but I have a lot of areas still to cover. On the other hand, I have a lot that I can peel down further, so we're good. Did profile pic? Perfect. I don't know why that one doesn't stick out to me. It'd be nice if that first item stuck out to me, but it didn't. Good, it did play a sound. I'm not really sure what it was playing, but I'll have to double check. Oh no, you have a life. Like, I don't expect anybody to regularly scheduled have to show up. At all, not even the mods. So if, and it's not just because Fantastic Sherlock Fox is working from home or anything like that. Oh, whoops. It's not because of any of that, it's just that people have lives, people have things to do, and if you can't make it, you can't make it. Right? Alright, where are we here? Da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh boy. Now you're making me wonder what that is. Actions. No? First. Okay, what does first do? Target from who redeemed. Blah blah blah. Message. Weirdly, it actually doesn't have a sound right now. Huh. Yeah. It doesn't have a sound. That's probably why I didn't notice it. Apologies, everybody. I'm glad you guys thought you had a sound. I should really add one. Gobbler forgot to claim first, but he's the biggest fan. Ooh. Are we starting a biggest fan war here? My goodness. Huh. Oh, I know what it is. Yes. The reason it doesn't play a sound is because the border that gets put around the picture, it's actually a little video that has a sound. So yeah, okay, that makes sense. So there wasn't one built into the command that triggers it, but there's one built into the video that I use as part of the overlay. There we go. Whoa. Good. Fantastic Sherlock Fox, it only asked for 2, so I'm going to skip it. I didn't realize that was in the Geek Out set. It's fine if we're playing that, but I talk about adult libations and alcohol from time to time, but it's not something I particularly want listed or popularized on my stream. Sorry guys, my mistake. Random Geek Out. Okay. Sometimes I take the family-friendly part a little too liberally, and other times I take it a little too seriously. So, you know, your mileage may vary on what you think of that.
2, 4, 6, 8. Everybody
Everybody
hydrate.
hydrate. Awesome. I did remember to fill my water bottle.
Someone's at the doorbell.
I'll let Fantastic Fox take care of that. Give me a quick second.
Yum 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 yum.
I did stay muted for a second intentionally. I was trying to tell my speaker to mute because I haven't figured that one out yet. Should be a way to tell it to do that. But I know somebody else slept, but I'm starting to think maybe when there's only... I've got 3 people on the server, one of which is probably AFK at the moment, if not both. But I'm thinking I should probably consider adding some sort of redeem reminder to actually sleep. I've got a couple of ideas of sound clips I could probably use from Disney or Sesame Street things. I assume, Poodle, you were the one that slept for me. Mike has been doing an awful lot of AFK during his business hours, sort of part of the day. So I just assume if the only other person on with me is Mike, then they're generally not here. It's okay. Yeah, I should probably use a sleep reminder so that when I'm the only one on the server, if I haven't noticed that it's getting to be nighttime, then I should sleep, then somebody can remind me. We used to have CJBot hanging out who would repeatedly tell me to eat, and I thought that was kind of funny. I wasn't waiting for CJ to tell me that or anything. It just so happened that I'd get wound up in what I was doing. I wouldn't think to eat, and then, like Tiz, I'd get way too low, and someone like Tiz would have to remind me, hey, you need to eat. So, yeah. The ding-dong you heard at the door, I'm not particularly sure what it was. I bet you it's probably one of our roof workers asking something or telling something. Maybe getting permission to come up to the roof from another angle of the house. I'm not fully sure. I'll find out from the fox after. It's not a big deal. But we have people... See? Tiz looks after me. I probably would find a creeper blowing me up or something, and before I realized I was out of carrots. Excellent. There, topped up, and we have carrots. We're good. Thank you very much, Tiz. I appreciate that. Hee. You know you've got one of the best mods on the planet when one of them tells you that you need to... Oh, I'm out. There we go. One of them tells you that you need to eat and top up your food supplies, and the other one you're married to. So yeah, it works. It works. For your guys' sake, it's a good thing I've got a mod that shows me what's in the boxes, because if I had thought all of these are full of dirt, we'd be... Oh, you see, there's another one. If I had thought all of these were full of dirt, I'd be thinking we're in great shape. But right now, as it is, we've got an empty box over there. And I just put down one that's full of grass, which is all that I have for the grasses right now. And where did I put... There was one that was full of random junk, right? Huh. Got this one down here? Yes. Moderators for people's channels are rather specific to the streamer themselves. So I'm not really sure of the criteria for my channel specifically. Very, very helpful, very, very regular. That just sounds like a medical ad, sorry. It's a very helpful, very regular, friendly, positive, very good at drawing out other people. That's one thing that Tiz does well. And also being able to handle when you end up with trolls in the channel doing dumb things that trolls should not be doing. So there's more to it than that, but that's it. And a lot of it is you really have to get to know the person well, because sometimes there can be disagreements on how various different behaviors have been handled, and that's not always a fun thing to bump your nose on, I guess, so to speak. Troll in the dungeon! But you ought to know. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, Tiz will probably know who I mean if I say that I don't have a single Mahaku. I have a whole handful of people who together make a fantastic Mahaku. Yep. Oh, yes, thank you very much. Oddly, Noah, you know what? I will definitely address that question, but hold that thought because we have the promised Lego. And I'm going to hop up here and be supposedly smart about things. I'll send you the Be Right Back screen while I set up for the Lego. There we go. Still have the chat going, blah blah blah, so I can answer your question. But yes, I have played Hogwarts Legacy. I have not actually gotten all the way through it, and I generally haven't brought it up on stream, nor will I be streaming that game, because there's a lot of controversy over what Rowling has said about people who don't fit the binary model of gender. So, yeah, dodging that one. Suffice to say, I've had negative situations from the fact that I like Harry Potter stuff. I've lost a few viewers that I was hoping to get to know better. But, yeah, it is what it is. So I don't play that game nor generally discuss the ins and outs of that game on stream. Not trying to be rude or anything like that. I do like it. It's just that I choose to separate work, like as in a product or what people do, from what people say. And that doesn't always sit well with others. Okay, let's get the Lego we are on. Swap it up. Go. Okay, so Geek Out has swapped to literature category, 2 titles in which a character has extra sensory perception. Well, I can tell you, I don't. I don't. Oops, I need to just get out of the game real quick because I realized if I don't disconnect, I'm going to be dead. Alright, so Lego. We have a 5-minute timer, then we'll probably be doing a raid out. Here we go. So we're on step 86. Oh. And I need to interact with that. That would make sense. Interact. There we go. On step 86, so I've got this little piece that we were making here. And I've got steps. Okay. 87 needs. Here's my tray. Fantastic Shot Pots made. And there we go. And it's got little separated drawers. And I need one of these to... Uh-oh. Where did those flat ones go? They're probably in the box. Little flat square. I need to do this twice. So one of these and another little flat square. There we go. So one for the right and one for the left. Yep, no concerns. I tend to avoid a lot of high action games and I tend to avoid violent games. Violent ones mostly because I just don't like them. Nothing against people who want to play that sort of thing. It's just not my cup of tea. But yeah, I would have been into that conversation. It's just that I've had enough pushback and stuff that got a little twitchy over the whole thing. That's really all it is. So, but yes, I do like Harry Potter quite a lot, and I have started playing that game. Okay, so this goes over back to our main piece. I'm just going to slide the tray out of the way. There we go. We've got the main section that opens up, and this will sit up top near the snakes, which apparently stick out when the box is open, but not so effective when it's closed. Come on, do you fit in the middle? Please? Stick. There we go. So those will close up. It wants to do something else with it, so I'm going to sit it up this. Oh! It's okay. I broke it! That's alright. I'll figure out what I just dropped on the floor later. That sits up, and then we put two little gray sections, the dark ones. The last two dark pieces I've got sit up on top, and I think it... Oh, I set this too far back. See, errors were made. Let's forward a bit. There we go. $91. Nope, these are the long ones. Side. One. And then two shorter ones. I'm watching the little timer on the screen, and I may go just a few seconds over just by sheer accident. It usually happens. Okay, so now... I dropped something that I knocked off the side, but I don't know what I dropped. Ah, I see. Okay, I'll figure that out after. So now we turn it around and lay it down, and you can see that we've got on the back a series of little clips. So then we've got this 3D sheet, sort of, it's supposed to change as you twist it. You can kind of see in the center, the snake and the guy's hand is moving. So yeah, that fits in, and it slides down the back, held on by the little clips. And they're not actually clips as such, they're the ones that look a little bit like faucet shapes. And it's interesting because they don't actually have holes for all of that picture, only for part of it, so it shows through in different ways. Okay, what have we got? So now we close it up. And I know what I dropped on this side. It's a little square in one of these pictures, but it's a bit offset. Oops, and this was coming apart because I left the snakes open. So vertically. There. Okay, closes up. What do we got? Gotta go? No problem. No problem. Thank you once again for dropping by. So we've got two of the long and one of the short. And the timer says we are done. I'm just going to see if it wants to do the same thing on the other edge. No, it does not. So we'll let the timer go and we'll do these curvy bits on the next stream. So we can start to see where it's coming from. We've got a snake logo that's going to show up. I'll just show you that one. And we'll see whether or not we get to it on Saturday. In the meantime, why don't we raid out from here? That's probably a great place to end. I don't need to go to Lego for that, though. Let's see who we've got live. It'll be interesting. We have quite a lot, actually. Let's go down to... Strange enough, most of them are not doing Minecraft. Okay, I think we're going to head over to Gutty today. Yeah. He seems to have just started. and he's building the We Be Building in the TSMP. So he wants to have people come say hi and chat. So we're off to Gutty today. Thank you very much for coming by, everybody. Just want to make sure I haven't missed anybody. Drop down. Nope, we're good. All right. So let's get that one started, and then I'll have the credits up so that we can actually say hello to everybody. Or thank you very much to everybody. Wow. And I'll go drink some more coffee. Enjoy your weekend. That's totally fine, Tiz. I hope you have a great time at the beach.
Mischief managed.
Mischief managed. Excellent, as expected. All right, so there's the raid message with the new emotes. Hopefully by the weekend we'll have a new raid emote as well. We'll see if we can get the artist to finish that one up. And thank you very much to the clue spenders from Noah, Andestic Sherlock Fox, Scrublord, and Tiz for Truth today. Our mods were Sherlock Fox, Scrub, and Tiz for Truth. And then thank you very much to Bob, Poodle Pirate, and Noah for being our chatters. Yeah, along with Rogue who dropped by. Thank you so much for the return. And to Big Harry GM who managed to catch us at the end. So thanks to everybody who came by today. Hopefully you all had a great time. Please do feel free to drop a note in the, if I can find it, in the Discord if you have anything further you'd like to see or have chatted about. Otherwise, you've got to our best. Grab any emotes that apply, and we will see you on the flip side. I will see you on Saturday. Oh, actually, just before we go, I will leave off with the schedule. So see you on Saturday if you can. In the meantime, bye-bye for now.